Imagine this. You're over 60. You go to bed feeling fine. The next morning you can't lift your arm, you can't speak clearly, your balance is gone. It's not a nightmare. It's a stroke that strikes while you sleep. And here's the shocking truth most seniors never hear. It's not always smoking, junk food, or lack of exercise. Sometimes it's something you thought was helping you, a simple vitamin. Stay right here, because what you don't know about these everyday supplements can silently destroy everything you've worked for: your independence, your memories, your life itself. Growing older is meant to be a time of elderly reflections, celebrating the wisdom we've earned, sharing life lessons from the elderly that guide the next generation. It should be about senior health that keeps us strong enough to tell our stories, to inspire with quotes and motivation about the long road we've walked. But too often, seniors are betrayed, not by age alone, but by bad advice, hidden dangers, and silent risks that no one talks about. I want to tell you something important, and I want you to really hear me. Your brain, your heart, your health are worth protecting. You deserve the elderly wisdom to know what's safe and what's not, because after 60, every choice matters more. This isn't about scaring you. It's about inspiration, empowerment, and the right knowledge to stay independent, to keep your senior health strong so you can share those life lessons from the elderly, to be the voice of elderly reflections your family remembers. If you're a senior or you love one, this matters, because the truth is simple. You have to know what you're putting in your body. Before we go any further, if you care about your brain health, your independence, and making choices that truly support senior health, please like this video to help others find it too. And hit subscribe so you don't miss more honest, science-backed tips for living well, aging with dignity, and preserving the elderly wisdom that this world so badly needs. Now let's talk about the first hidden danger, vitamin D. For years, you've heard vitamin D is essential. It helps your bones, your immune system, your mood. That's true, in moderation. But here's the side no one talks about with seniors. Too much vitamin D, especially taken at night, can quietly turn a good night's sleep into a medical emergency. I've seen this firsthand. Mr. Warren, a 75-year-old retired Navy veteran, was disciplined, sharp, the kind of man who lined up his pills every morning with military precision. Among them was a 10,000 IU vitamin D capsule he bought over the counter. He thought he was protecting his bones, doing everything right. One morning, though, his wife found him in the hallway, confused, slurring his words, his right arm hanging limp. He'd suffered a stroke in his sleep. Lab results showed dangerously high calcium levels, stiff arteries, blood pressure all over the place. The culprit? Vitamin D toxicity. High doses of vitamin D make your body absorb more calcium than it can handle. That extra calcium hardens your arteries, making them stiff and narrow. Where does that lead? A blood clot. And where does that clot go? Straight to your brain. As we age, our arteries naturally lose flexibility. Add dehydration, poor sleep, and a calcium spike from taking vitamin D before bed, and you have the perfect storm for stroke. No warning signs. You go to bed fine and wake up with your life forever changed. Many over-the-counter vitamin D supplements in the US contain 5,000 or even 10,000 IU per pill. Seniors often take them daily, thinking more is better. But even 2,000 IU a day can be too much if you're not actually deficient. If you're over 60, get your blood levels checked. Don't self-dose without medical guidance. Always take it in the morning, not before bed. Think about it. Do you even know how many IUs your supplement has? As Mr. Warren told me in recovery, I just wanted to stay healthy. I didn't know I was hurting myself. That's the tragedy of it. Seniors with the best intentions, full of elderly wisdom, wanting to share their life lessons from the elderly with their grandkids, lose everything because they didn't have the right information. This isn't about fear, it's about inspiration to make better choices. If you're taking vitamin D right now, let's talk about it. Type D in the comments so others know they're not alone. Now let's move on to something even more dangerous than a clot, a brain bleed. Vitamin E. You've probably heard it called the heart helper. It's supposed to support circulation, memory, even your skin health. But here's what they don't tell you on the label. Too much vitamin E, especially combined with common heart medications, can increase your risk of bleeding in the brain. Let me tell you about Mrs. Evelyn Barnes, an 82-year-old retired librarian from Ohio. Clever, quick-witted, always with a book in hand. She had a heart valve problem and was on warfarin, a common blood thinner. Her doctors were careful with her blood work. Then she saw an ad in a magazine for a natural vitamin E supplement that promised better circulation and sharper memory. It sounded perfect. She bought it. Each capsule contained 800 IU of vitamin E. 3 weeks later, she was rushed to the ER with a pounding headache, confusion, and vomiting. A brain scan revealed a hemorrhagic stroke, not because of high blood pressure, not because of a fall, but because warfarin plus high-dose vitamin E made her blood too thin to clot. One fragile vessel in her brain gave way. Vitamin E in high doses acts like a natural anticoagulant. If you're already on aspirin, Plavix, warfarin, or any blood thinner, adding vitamin E quietly raises your risk of internal bleeding, especially in the brain, where even a small bleed can steal your speech, your memory, your independence. The recommended daily intake for older adults, about 15 mg, around 22 IU. But many supplements on store shelves contain 200, 400, even 1,000 IU per capsule. No warnings, no required consultation, and people take them for years, thinking they're doing the right thing. Mrs. Barnes survived, but she now walks with a cane. Her short-term memory will never be the same. She cried in my office and told me, "I just wanted to help myself. I didn't know I was doing harm." It breaks my heart. So many seniors think, if it's a vitamin, it must be safe. But not every vitamin is safe, especially if you're on heart or blood pressure meds. That's why I'm sharing this. To protect your senior health, so you can keep telling your stories and passing on your elderly wisdom. If this surprised you, type E in the comments. Let's talk about it. Now let's talk about another common vitamin that can quietly damage your nerves, sometimes permanently. Vitamin B6. You've seen it at the pharmacy. Bottles labelled nerve support, brain booster, energy. It sounds helpful. It promises focus, memory support, healthier aging nerves. But here's the warning most seniors never hear. Too much vitamin B6 can actually destroy your nerves over time. Let me tell you about Mr. Harold Jensen, a 77-year-old retired truck driver from Kansas. He came in complaining that his feet felt numb, his hands were tingling, and his balance was off. At first he thought it was just aging, but then he started falling, once, then again. The third time, he hit his head on the bathroom floor. When I reviewed his supplements, the answer was obvious. He was taking a nerve support formula sold online. The label bragged about supporting brain health and circulation. Each tablet had 100 milligrams of vitamin B6. He was taking 2 a day. That's 200 milligrams daily, over 10 times the recommended safe upper limit for seniors. Unlike some vitamins that flush out in your urine, B6 accumulates in your system over time. In older adults, it damages the protective coating around your nerves, like stripping insulation off a wire. The result? Tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, tremors, even confusion or memory loss. And it doesn't happen overnight. It creeps in slowly. People blame arthritis, aging, early dementia, but the real culprit is B6 toxicity. We caught it before things got worse, but Mr. Jensen still uses a cane. He doesn't drive anymore. He told me, I just wanted to protect my brain. I didn't realize I was poisoning it. Vitamin B6 is important, but only in very small amounts. Seniors generally need 2 to 10 milligrams per day, including what you get from food. Yet many brain support pills contain 50, 100, even 200 milligrams per tablet. That's not just unnecessary, it's dangerous. If you're taking any supplement that says nerve, brain, or energy, check the label today. And if you want, type B6 in the comments. Let's share this knowledge, because elderly wisdom is earned the hard way by surviving mistakes and sharing them so others don't suffer the same fate. Now that we've talked about vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin B6, let's turn to a vitamin that most people think is entirely safe, even essential, vitamin A. This is the one that older adults often trust without question. It's marketed as vital for your eyesight, for your skin, for healthy aging. If you're over 60, you've probably been told more than once. Take your vitamin A, it's good for your eyes. You might even have a bottle in your cabinet right now labeled skin health, anti-aging, or eye support, and you feel good taking it every day. You feel like you're being responsible, staying on top of your health. But here's the truth that no one tells seniors clearly enough. Too much vitamin A doesn't just pass through your body harmlessly. It accumulates, builds up over time, and can become toxic, quietly setting you up for devastating neurological effects. Unlike water-soluble vitamins like C or most B vitamins, which your body can flush out in urine, vitamin A is fat-soluble. That means it gets stored in your liver, your tissues, even your brain. And the older we get, the slower our liver processes excess nutrients. That means your risk of vitamin A toxicity grows without you even realizing it. Let me share the story of Ms. Dorothy Simmons, now 80 years old, a retired piano teacher from Oregon. She was the epitome of elderly wisdom, a woman who loved music, loved teaching the next generation, and took pride in her independence. She taught lessons from her living room, surrounded by the familiar sounds of old sheet music and the laughter of her grandkids. She was careful about her health, eating well, staying active, and taking vitamins to age gracefully, as she put it. But she didn't know there could be too much of a good thing. She had been taking a high-dose skin and eye supplement for over 5 years, nearly 10,000 IU per day, every single day, thinking it was harmless. She'd read so many quotes about aging well, staying proactive, protecting her eyes. She believed she was doing everything right. Then one day, she started getting dull, persistent headaches. At first, she ignored them. It's easy to brush off a headache in your 70s as dehydration or stress. But then came the blurred vision, the dizziness, the slurred speech. Her family feared the worst, a stroke. When she came to me, we ran scans expecting to see a clot or a bleed, but the images told a different story. Elevated intracranial pressure, fluid backing up, tiny veins in the brain under stress. The cause was vitamin A toxicity. The excess vitamin A stored in her tissues and brain had slowly created a condition called Pseudotumor cerebri, or false brain tumor, where the pressure inside the skull rises and compresses delicate brain structures. It mimics stroke symptoms. It can damage vision permanently, and it doesn't just go away overnight. Here's the thing. The safe upper limit for older adults is around 2,500 to 3,000 IU per day, and that's only if you truly need it, with medical guidance. But go online or visit your local store, and you'll see bottles with 5,000, 10,000 IU per capsule, no questions asked, no warnings about cumulative effects, no reminders to check your other multivitamins, which might already have vitamin A included. Seniors like Ms. Simmons often double or triple their intake without realizing it. This isn't just a number on a bottle. This is your senior health, your independence, your ability to keep teaching, keep telling stories, keep sharing elderly wisdom and life lessons from the elderly. Ms. Simmons is slowly recovering, but now she needs regular eye exams, pressure checks, and balance therapy. She told me once, with tears in her eyes, "I thought I was doing something good for my body. I never imagined it could hurt my brain." That kind of elderly reflection sticks with you. I share her story not to frighten you, but to give you the motivation to check your labels, ask your doctor, know what you're putting in your body. Don't assume vitamin means safe in any amount. Vitamins are powerful, they can heal, but they can also harm if misused. If you're taking supplements for skin, eyes, or anti-aging, check the label today. Add up the total vitamin A from all sources, and if you're surprised by what you see, type A in the comments. Let's talk about it openly, because awareness is your best medicine. Now let's move to the last vitamin on this list, but it's no less important. In fact, it might be the most deceptively dangerous because of how sneaky it is in labeling and marketing. Niacin, also known as vitamin B3. You might have been told to take it for your heart, maybe even prescribed it. It's praised as a natural way to lower cholesterol, improve circulation. You'll see it in heart health supplements, energy drinks, even fortified cereals. And in controlled doses, it does have benefits. But here's what gets left out of the conversation, especially for older adults. Niacin in high doses can cause dangerous swings in your blood pressure, trigger arrhythmias, and even increase your stroke risk. I want to introduce you to Mr. Frank Miller, now 83, a retired postman from Florida. He had worked his whole life walking neighborhoods in the sun, chatting with neighbors, collecting decades of elderly wisdom and stories. He came to see me with a puzzling set of symptoms. He'd get hot flashes in his face, feel his heart pounding in his chest, get dizzy spells, especially in the mornings. His wife thought it was anxiety. His son blamed his blood pressure medications. But no one had thought to look at the supplement shelf. Mr. Miller had picked up a heart-healthy supplement he found online. The front of the bottle promised supports cholesterol and circulation. The back label told the real story: 1,000 milliliters of niacin per serving. He was taking it twice a day. That's 2,000 milliliters daily, over 60 times the recommended limit for most seniors. Here's what happens with high-dose niacin. It causes your blood vessels to dilate suddenly, leading to that warm, red, tingling niacin flush that people think is harmless. But shortly after, those same vessels constrict sharply. This yo-yo effect strains your blood pressure, stresses your heart, and reduces blood flow to your brain. Over time, it's like tapping a hammer on fragile glass. Eventually, something cracks. Mr. Miller ended up having what's called a transient ischemic attack, a TIA or mini-stroke. His speech slurred for 2 minutes, then came back. He thought it was nothing, but it was a warning shot across the bow. When I explained the cause, he was shocked. "Doc, I thought I was doing everything right. I didn't know I was gambling with my brain." And he's not the only one. Many seniors unknowingly take high doses of niacin, thinking flush-free or extended-release forms are safe. But even those can still spike blood pressure, trigger atrial fibrillation, mess with blood sugar levels, and increase stroke risk. For older adults, anything above 50 millicron per day should be used only with medical supervision. But who tells you that when you order supplements online? This is why senior health demands elderly wisdom. It's why life lessons from the elderly matter, because you know that taking care of yourself isn't just about today, it's about being there tomorrow. It's about being healthy enough to tell your stories, to give inspiration and motivation to your children and grandchildren. It's about saying, "I'm still here, and I'm not going anywhere without a fight." If you're taking a supplement for heart health, check the label, look for niacin, look at the dose, be honest with yourself. And if this hit home, type B3 in the comments so others know they're not alone, because there's no shame in learning. In fact, that's elderly wisdom at its finest, admitting we don't know everything and staying open to learning, even at 60, 70, 80 or beyond. I always tell my patients one of my favorite quotes: "Awareness is the best medicine. It costs nothing. It saves everything. It's about reading the label, asking the question, listening to the quiet warnings your body whispers before it screams. It's about remembering that even good intentions can go wrong if you don't have the right information. So let's make a pact here. Let's choose awareness. Let's choose honest conversations about senior health. Let's share these stories so someone else doesn't suffer the same regret. Let's keep our elderly reflections alive, our life lessons from the elderly front and center, because you are the keepers of your family's wisdom. Your memories matter, your independence matters, and your health is the key to protecting both. In the next part, we're going to talk about what to do instead. Real food, simple choices, habits that don't just prevent harm, but actively heal, because your body wasn't designed to run on pills. It was built to thrive on real, whole, nourishing food, and you deserve to know how to make that work for you every single day. Stay with me. This is too important to turn away from now. If you've stayed with me this long, it tells me something important about you. You care about your health. You're the kind of person who takes responsibility, who values your independence, who understands that elderly wisdom isn't about being stubborn. It's about listening, learning, and doing better. You want the senior health that lets you keep sharing your life lessons from the elderly, keep being that rock of inspiration for your family. We've talked about the hidden dangers in your medicine cabinet: vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin B6, vitamin A, niacin. We've heard the real stories of seniors who thought they were doing everything right, only to suffer strokes, nerve damage, or bleeding in the brain. Maybe you saw yourself in some of those stories. Maybe you felt that tight knot of worry in your chest. That worry is good. It's the sign of someone who's aware, and awareness is the best medicine, but knowledge alone isn't enough. So in this final part, I want to give you something you can actually use. I want to replace fear with action, uncertainty with confidence. I want you to leave this video with real, concrete ideas to keep yourself healthy without gambling with your brain. Here's the truth. Most supplement companies won't tell you. Your body wasn't designed to run on pills. It was built to thrive on real, whole, nutrient-rich food that your brain recognizes, absorbs, and uses in the right amounts. Supplements can help, but they should be supplements, not replacements. Let me tell you about Mrs. Margaret Wilson, now 74, a retired school principal from Arizona. When she first came to see me, she was the picture of doing everything right. She pulled out a drawer overflowing with bottles: vitamin D for bones, vitamin E for heart, B complex for energy, niacin for cholesterol, a multivitamin, and a few extra pills for brain support. She told me with a proud smile, "I'm doing everything they say to stay healthy." But she didn't feel healthy. She woke up dizzy every morning. Her balance was getting worse. Her blood pressure was climbing despite medications. She was terrified she was losing her independence. She didn't want to end up in a nursing home. And worst of all, she felt betrayed, like she'd followed all the advice she'd ever gotten and still felt like she was failing. We did something radical. We cleared the clutter. One by one, we removed the unnecessary pills and we replaced them with food, not a fancy diet, not a paid program, just real, recognizable meals at the right times, in the right combinations. Her breakfast was simple: 1 boiled egg for clean protein, half an avocado for healthy fats that feed the brain and keep hunger steady, a slice of whole grain toast for slow, stable energy, a handful of blueberries loaded with antioxidants that protect her brain cells, a glass of room temperature water to keep her hydrated. Sometimes she added walnuts or almonds for extra omega-3s and magnesium. That was it. No powders, no mystery pills, just food. Within weeks, Maggie noticed a difference. Her dizziness faded, her blood pressure stabilized, her energy returned. She told me with tears in her eyes, "Doc, My mind feels clearer than it has in years. That's elderly wisdom in action, simplifying, choosing what works, and letting go of what doesn't. Your brain doesn't want megadoses of isolated vitamins. It wants balance, hydration, consistent fuel, micronutrients delivered the way nature designed them. So what should you eat? Think leafy greens like spinach and kale, packed with folate and antioxidants that help protect blood vessels and slow age-related cognitive decline. Fatty fish like salmon or sardines, rich in omega-3s that nourish brain cells and help maintain mood and memory. Berries full of polyphenols that fight inflammation and oxidative stress. Nuts and seeds with vitamin E, magnesium, and brain-healthy fats. Whole grains to keep blood sugar stable and support circulation. These foods don't just protect your brain, they support your heart, your bones, your mood, your mobility. When you choose them, you're not just eating, you're healing with every bite. You're investing in the ability to tell your stories, to share your elderly reflections, to offer life lessons from the elderly that only you can give. Let's also talk about habits. Real, everyday choices that don't come in a pill bottle. Stay hydrated. Dehydration is an underappreciated cause of confusion, dizziness, and even small strokes in older adults. Drink water throughout the day, even if you don't feel thirsty. Move your body. I'm not saying run marathons, but gentle walks, stretching, chair exercises, anything to keep your blood flowing and your joints moving. As one of my favorite quotes goes, "We don't stop moving because we grow old. We grow old because we stop moving." Sleep well. Your brain does its most important cleanup work while you sleep. It's when memories consolidate and toxins clear. Make your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. Keep a routine. If sleep is a struggle, talk to your doctor, but be careful with sleep aids that can make you groggy and unsteady. Connect with others. Loneliness and isolation aren't just sad, they're dangerous. They're linked to higher rates of dementia, depression, and even heart disease. Call your kids, have coffee with friends, join a senior centre, volunteer. Humans are wired for connection, and your brain needs it. Cultivate elderly reflections. Take time to journal, to tell your stories to loved ones, to reflect on the lessons life has taught you. Don't underestimate the healing power of elderly wisdom. Sharing your experiences isn't just for you, it's a gift for everyone you love. Ask questions, read labels. Don't be afraid to challenge what someone tells you about your health. Doctors like me want you to ask. We want you to know what you're taking and why. Awareness is the best medicine. If you're going to take vitamins or supplements, make sure you need them. Get your blood levels checked. Follow medical advice. Don't self-dose. Don't assume more is better. Remember, your body at 60, 70, or 80 doesn't process things the way it did at 30. What used to be safe in small doses can build up. What used to work might not anymore. And that's okay. It's not failure. It's just a new phase of learning. That's elderly wisdom at its best. As we close, I want you to think about this. What's one change you can make today? One label you'll check, one pill you'll question, one meal you'll improve, one walk you'll take, one call you'll make to someone you love. If this video made you think twice, share it with someone you care about. Post a comment about what you'll do differently. Let's make this a conversation. Let's protect our brains. Let's guard our independence. Let's be the keepers of our life lessons from the elderly so the next generation can learn from us, not just about what went right, but what went wrong and how to do better. Because you're not done yet, you still have so much to give, so much to teach, so much to experience, and you deserve to do it with a clear mind, a strong body, and an open heart. Thank you for being here. Thank you for caring enough to listen. And thank you for being the kind of person who values elderly reflections elderly wisdom, and senior health enough to keep learning, even now. Please, if you haven't already, like this video so more people can find it. Subscribe for more honest, science-backed guidance made for seniors like you. And tell us in the comments, what's one change you'll make starting tomorrow? Let's keep learning, growing, and staying strong together, because you're never too old to take back control of your health.